Oh, happy 420, everybody. COFOH Live Undead. I am your host, Daniel Crosier, and I am joined by the amazing Devanny Pinn. Wow!
You write something on my face?
Hey, that was fun.
Devanny, how are you?
I'm great now. I'm still jamming out to that opening. And I'm not a jealous person, but I can't believe that between the two of us, you were the one covered in pink blood and glitter. Like total FOMO over here. Like that's amazing.
Well, when we get you out here for Colorado Festival of Horror, we'll have to do a fake blood splatter test.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna cosplay your opening. Absolutely.
Yeah. I definitely have a thing for like the Korean and Chinese kung fu films that use really vibrant colored fake blood.
Absolutely. That was so cool. I love it. You look great covered in blood, actually. Like you should try to be a scream queen.
Oh, yeah, I do have the face for it.
You do. I think your face is fabulously spookily beautiful. Absolutely. Yeah.
You are a sweetheart. Devanny, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you've been in like so many films and done so many amazing projects. For those that aren't familiar with your work, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you come from, and how you got into film acting?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a weirdo. And so naturally, you find other weirdos in here. I was going to school to be in musical theater, and where most people find their weirdos. And it wasn't quite working out. But what I did find, ironically, was an independent film audition. I didn't know what the hell that was. I'm like, am I signing up for porn or what? Fortunately, this particular time it wasn't. It was a horror movie, which is like almost kind of the same thing. And I booked the lead in it, and for some reason, bunch of other weirdos out there on the internet decided this movie was pretty good. I'm not sure if it was, but they decided it was. And I discovered Z and B horror. And from there discovered Lloyd Kaufman,
yes,
the king himself. And so he took me under his wing and kind of toured me around as a tromette for my teen years. And I got to meet a lot of amazing people and do a lot more movies. And every time I would come out, somebody would like it and they'd be like, hey, come do my movie too. And so I was like, all right, well, whenever I'm done, I'll go back to school. And that was like, a long time ago. Yeah. So I just never stopped filming horror movies. And I learned more and more about it. I learned more about the amazing fan base, horror nerds that we all are. And I just kept growing and growing. And I just got up in there and could not stop. It was like addicting. And so then I wanted to be able to answer the question. Horror fans would always be like, well, which one's your favorite? Which one should I watch? And what I learned is that everyone's sense of horror is different. That's why there's so many different subgenres. So I was like, I'm not going to stop until I have at least one movie in every subgenre. So I can always recommend one of my films to horror fans. Yes. And then that didn't stop either. So here we are all these years later. And now I make movies as well. And I'm fortunate enough, the horror movie gods have allowed me to continue. It's my full-time job, and now I get to do things on downtime, like talk to fabulous people like you. So it's just, I'm living the dream over here, the weird, fabulous horror dream.
No, that's fantastic. What a great kind of resume in a nutshell, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we just had Lloyd Kaufman out for Colorado Festival of Horror last year.
Uncle Lloyd. Lloyd.
Oh, he was
He's
so much.
amazing.
Yeah, we had Monique Dupree out here.
Monique, yeah, my girl. Absolutely.
Oh,
She's wonderful. Hi, Monique, if you're watching.
Yeah, we'll be having her out again this year as well, and they were promoting Shakespeare
Shitstorm. Yes. Oh yeah, I love Lloyd. Like Lloyd is a very special person. He finds incredible talent, as you can also see, and he's the only person that can make a love of like ridiculous amounts of shit and Shakespeare work together. But he does in several of his movies, and so I love that he's continuing on. He's championed so many careers over the years. Everybody from losers like myself all the way up to Samuel L. Jackson. So it's like everybody, he's just fantastic. And I can't say enough good things about him and Monique and everybody that works over at the Troma team.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Devanny, you've just directed your first feature film, Black Mass. Yes. And can you tell us a little bit about that experience? Because you've been in front of the camera. We know you produce films too.
Yes.
And what's it like being in the director's chair?
It's weird. I'm not gonna lie. So I act in horror movies. I'm going on almost 100 movies now, which is really. I'm trying to get to that number because it sounds really cool, right? So we're almost there. And I produce movies as well. I produce horror. I'm focusing now on producing action titles. So that's my latest. And because my partner, who I work with a lot, Brandon Slagle, he directs most of the films that I've produced and put together. And he has moved into action, which has been what his trajectory is. He's abandoning horror. We already yelled at him for it, whatever. Whatever. So he wants to stay in action. And so the producer and me, I did a movie with the amazing people over at Cleopatra Entertainment, Cleopatra Records. We did a small one during COVID called Frost. And that did pretty well for them. And so they're like, let's do another one. And so I put the whole deal together as a producer. I was like really proud of myself. And then Brandon was like, I'm not directing any more horror. I was like, oh. So I had this deal on the table and I'm like, I don't have anyone to direct this movie. And I talked to a couple of different people and I've wanted to tell this particular story for almost a decade. I'm really passionate about it. True crime is my personal favorite subgenre. And so I was very protective of the material and I'm like, what am I going to do? So I just like half-assed kind of pitched myself as the director to Cleopatra, thinking that I was going to need it would give me some stalling time while I found somebody to do it. And they didn't push back at all. They were like, okay, good, done. When are you shooting? And I was like, fuck. But it worked out. Yeah. I don't know that I'll be pursuing directing anything else, but I was so passionate and spent so much time with this story and the material that I really did know what I wanted for it. And it worked out. It's a very unique approach to probably a story that many of you are familiar with. And that's kind of what I do with my production company, Jaguar Motion Pictures, is I like to tell stories that you think you know and turn it on its head. So like the consistent compliment that we get is, I didn't see that coming. I didn't see that ending coming. Yeah. So I'm a horror fan. So I know kind of what horror fans want. And I know the beats that you kind of have memorized in a lot of movies. So I like to shake that on its head and give you an experience you haven't seen yet.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I just caught, Frost.
Thank you.
I saw that Vernon Wells was in there.
Yes. Vernon.
Yeah. The Mohawk from Road Warrior
Road Warrior. Yeah, but he's totally opposite in this. How good was he in Frost? It's like he played, we've been friends for a very long time. We used to do conventions together and we've been in a ton of the same movies, but it's always like for 5 seconds because people are always like, I want Vernon Wells I want Mad Max to be in my movie, right? So they don't give him anything to do. So on this one, I approached him to play my dad, and it's like a really emotional role. And not only was he down, like he did not shy away from it. He really committed himself. I was very proud of what he did with that character.
Nice. Yeah, I thought it was a fantastic, kind of microcosm survivalist, kind of film. And I'm sitting there watching. And I was like, oh man, she's gonna get out of this, right? She's gonna get out of this.
No,
And
I
then
never lived through my spoilers. I don't live through any of my movies. So fucking, it's boring. Who wants to watch that story? Everyone's gonna die. Everybody dies.
Yeah. So so in a sense, you don't mind if you're not the final girl, so to speak.
No. I am not the final girl. I am the secondary to the final girl always. Okay. I prefer to play the bad guy.
Yeah.
And if I have to be, one of the victims, then I like to be the secondary character because sometimes it's changing. Like I feel like in Terrifier and a few things more recently, the final girl's a little bit more interesting of a character. But I feel like a lot of times it's a safe character. It's the girl next door. I am not the girl next door. I'm like the bitch down the road. Like I just not even close.
Yeah, the villains have so much more fun.
They do. There's more to do. There's more interesting things to it. I like to play. Thank you for watching Frost. I like to play flawed characters, characters who have to overcome something besides just living. So I like damaged goods. I think it's more interesting to play as an actor. So that's usually a secondary or supporting character. Plus, I'm a horror chick. Like I want to get bloody. I love effects and selling gags and getting down and dirty. And the final girl usually lives. So it's like I don't want to live. Kill me. Fucking kill me.
Well, getting back to Frost.
Frost. Yes.
Yeah. Your character is pregnant, pinned in the car, can't get out without massive eruptive bleeding and causing a lot of harm to the baby.
The baby, yeah.
And speaking of the baby, wow. And I'm not going to say anything more, but fucking A, everybody that's out there watching and hasn't seen Frost, go and watch that. And
so hold on, wait, spoilers. It's an extreme movie. So I need to disclaimer it. If you like Martyrs, Serbian films, if that's kind of your jam, then this is the kind of movie for you. And it starts a little bit slow, so bear with me. It's like an annoying pregnant chick in a car. Bear with us. There's a payoff. If you are not into extreme horror, I've gotten a lot of hate mail, a lot of pissed off people, which I think is a compliment, but I don't want to horribly trigger anyone. So if you're not into extreme stuff, then you should probably skip that one.
I found it pretty gripping. I thought it was, a great dramatic piece, and it just kind of escalated, and it was just like, holy crap, where's this going to go?
They asked me, why did you go that route with the ending? That was too much. Well, so the short answer to that is, that's the true story.
It was based on a true story. I didn't even realize that. Yes.
So most of my films that I choose to tell are based on facts, based on a true story. That one absolutely is. My producer, James Cullen Bressick, shout out James. It was during COVID, and we were trying to find contained movies to tell so that we could be COVID compliant. And so he started looking around, and we wanted to collaborate with Cleopatra Records. Cool. And I actually was pregnant at the time too. So it really narrowed down the story that we could tell. And I was about 4 or 5 months pregnant when the film got greenlit, and he just texted me the article, which was the ending.
Yeah.
He texted me the news article, and he just wrote, "Are you down?" Yeah. And I was like, "Oh, what a great way to pitch a movie!" Fuck. He knew me so well. I was like, shit, now I have to. So but it was a rough shoot, to be honest with you, because when we shot, I was 6 and then 9 months pregnant when we actually did it. And it was a really physical role. So I had to, in real time, try to be truthful to the story and the character. And then also not really hurt myself or the real baby. So it was very, very challenging shoot. I think some of the desperation actually really shows on camera for that. And it was real, not necessarily acting some of those times. Yeah.
Yeah. That's intense. Yeah. It's, my hat's off for you. I mean,
thank you.
To do that during that time, 9 months pregnant. Wow.
It was a lot, but it worked out, and I'm pretty proud of what we were able to accomplish. And it's still going. My favorite thing about it is horror fan groups and message boards and things online, those cool little dark corners where fans will trade insider favorites and things, it'll keep popping up in there. Be like, oh, did you see this one little indie gem? Go track it down. So I love that. That's my jam. That's kind of my favorite stuff. So horror fans are keeping it going, and I hope that people who enjoy the extreme elements seek it out.
That's cool. Yeah, Dee wanted to comment. Wow, that's impressive.
Hi, Dee.
Looks like Brett just chimed in. He's got a question. He's my partner with COFOH.
Okay. Hi.
What horror films inspire you, and what's your favorite horror subgenre?
So my favorite subgenre definitely is true crime. I think for me personally, the scariest stuff is things that can happen and do happen. I think what people do to each other, for each other, I think human and criminal psychology is the most fascinating and terrifying thing that's out there. So that's where I pull a lot of my stuff from. What films do inspire me? So my favorite horror movie is actually 1408. So forget what I just said about true crime. Is 1408. I think the dread in that is really fascinating. I think the fact that one person can carry an entire movie and suspensefully, interestingly, keep the whole thing in a heightened sense, I think was really, really fascinating. I also love like Sinister. And then I'm a 90s kid, so I love like the slash, like Scream. I like, I know you did last summer, like Urban Legends, all the fun ones where you can just like get some popcorn and just laugh at people getting beheaded and shit. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's great. Now, with you're still working on, Black Mass. You're in fact,
my
you're
editing
it downstairs. I am surprised to hear that, your turnaround on that film, because you shot it last month. You're editing it
last month. Man. Yes. We are, so I've already seen the rough cut. We are doing the polish on it now. And then it's going to go to sound and color in just a couple of weeks, be done. And we are screening it, having its market premiere at Cannes in a few weeks.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is an intense, amount of, turnaround and hard work.
Yeah. I mean, I'm lucky because it is my full-time job, so I have the time to dedicate to it. But it is a very ambitious turnaround, so I don't recommend it. Like if you're a newer filmmaker starting out, like don't make a goal to have your movie done a month later. It usually doesn't work out. Right. It's just that I've been doing production now for almost 15 years, so I know kind of exactly how to shoot for a quick edit. My partner works in post, so it's we really can expedite the process efficiently now. But when we started, it was not the case. So I recommend having money, a budget, and time is usually what works out better.
Yeah, when you first started doing that, taking on the editing roles and the post production roles, yourself, what was that experience like? Can you recall?
Yeah, stressful. Okay. It was out of necessity because budget restrictions. There's always trends in our genre about, there's a lot of content, low budget content that becomes trendy, and then you can get a lot more things greenlit quickly, and for lower budgets. And then that gets oversaturated, and then everyone scales back and they only want higher budget stuff for a while, and then you have to package it. So it turns into a thing. But for a while when I started, right when I came on the scene was like the height of the DVD era, like Blockbuster kind of thing. Redbox was just starting. Yeah, I got dropped into that. And so I learned everything, and then abruptly it all crashed.
Right.
And so I had to kind of, I was on the forefront of relearning for our industry, the new mediums and the new formula, whereas a lot of people had to play catch up on it. But I had just started, so I was able to duck and weave and pick up more quickly and efficiently, I think, because I was welcoming the change. But it's constantly changing. So I prefer to have an entire team, prefer to have an entire post house and, several $100,000 to do it. Honestly, it works out way better. I like to just boss people around and be like, do this and that. And let me know when it's done. But that's not always the case. And it comes with its joys too. Like for instance, when you do have a huge budget and a studio backing you and, an entire team underneath you, you have to answer to a lot more people too. So the perks about doing more intimate stories is that they're more yours, and you get to be creatively in control and free in it. And so even though this one has been a little bit more contained as far as budget goes, I had a lot of people come together. I called in basically all of my favorites for the past 15 years and said, I'm making a movie, come help me. And fortunately, I had a lot of great relationships that they did. They came out and they helped me make this thing look and feel much, much bigger than it really is. And some of the tips and tricks I learned along the way have lent itself to being able to turn it around quickly without sacrificing quality as well.
Nice. That's amazing. You know, when a whole village like that comes together for, you know, amazing art.
I have an amazing team in front of and behind the camera on this, and like a lot of my favorite people from various horror films and franchises. We tried to represent everyone in here. So I mean, we have greats from like Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street, like all the different franchises and movie impacts are all represented in this one movie. And it's the first time a lot of people I think have worked together in capacity too. So like I have Lisa Wilcox, I have Eileen Dietz, I have Lou Temple, I have Jeremy London. I have a lot of really great people from different corners all in this one thing. And so it's a lot of fun, and it's just tons of talent from beginning to end. It was very lucky.
Cool. Kind of changing gears here.
Yes.
I saw that your name was attached to a project that's supposed to be filming out here in Colorado. I think it's is it Bloodvine or Bloodwine, something like that?
Yeah, Bloodwine just got shelved, unfortunately.
Oh, no, that's too bad. Because
I was very sad about that. I was really excited. It had a lot of legs, a lot of momentum, an amazing cast. It for a minute there, it was going to BET. So it was my first BET movie. I was really excited about that. But unfortunately, there was some issues behind the scenes, and it did get shelved. So I'm bummed. It was going to be my first time filming in Colorado, which I was really fucking excited about. So now I got to look for something else to shoot out that way with you guys, so I can come visit and bug you.
That's right. You should. We'll have just gallons of brightly colored fuchsia kind of blood, just ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll come just for that. That's awesome.
I've got the potato cannons for it. So
yeah, it's just boom. Love it.
Pretty much. Big gushes.
Absolutely.
Well, that's too bad to hear. I've interviewed the director before, Tom Walton, and
he's wonderful. I love Tom. Tom and I worked together on a movie that'll be out later this year called Camp Pleasant Lake.
Yes.
So that has also a lot of greats in it. Got Jonathan Lipnicki. It's got Bonnie Aarons, the nun from the Conjuring series. I mean, like, just amazing cast in that one. So
I think isn't Kane Hodder in that too?
He's not in that. Michael Pare is in it. Yes. Okay. I worked with Kane in the past too, actually. He's wonderful. Yeah, we did a couple of movies together back in the day. He's, awesome sauce. Love Kane. If you're watching, Kane, hi.
Nice.
They're all saying it's the best. I know. I got to get out there, guys. Got to make it happen.
Yeah. So excited about that film. So we're looking forward to Camp
Pleasant Lake.
Yeah. In fact, I think, Tom reached out to me. I did a little design work on that thing, I think.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much. It's such a cool, they have so many amazing people on that one. Like, again, the whole team is really fucking cool. It's a lot of fun. That's really bloody.
Yeah. Any ideas when it's going to be coming out?
I got to see some clips recently at their studio. So I know if it's not done yet, it's very, very close to it. So we should see it anytime now.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome. Well, keep us informed when you go down that red carpet.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we got to send it over to you because I want your opinion on it when it comes out.
Yes, please. And of course, I can't wait to see Black Mass. I'm always excited to see talent that springs up in front of the camera, that kind of switches gears and wears a number of different hats. Because all these projects, it really does take, literally a village.
A village. It does. Yeah. And honestly, I encourage everybody to learn as much as they can about behind the camera. Like I did it just out of like pure curiosity. I was so annoying my first 2 movies as an actress. I'm like, what does that do? What is this? Why are you doing that? And they're like, Devanny, shut up and act. But I was so fascinated by everyone and everything and how it all worked. So I wanted to learn. And I think that's super important. I now, the only job I hadn't done, I've done everybody's job on set at least once, from the PA all the way up to like distribution. I've done it all. And the only job I hadn't done was director. So now I can say I've done that too. And every time I did somebody else's job on set, it carried over to a bigger picture, and I was a stronger actor. I was a stronger producer. It just being able to understand, like, so, when I know what the DP's doing, what lens he's pulling out, I know where my shot is framed up as an actress. If the gaffer's pulling out a certain light, I know where the lighting's going to come from and what it's going to look like. I know where to cheat my face to when I'm doing my lines. I know if I'm performing and doing, a death scene, and it's all very, very physical, don't bang my chest because it's going to mess up the lav and the sound guy is going to have the sound fucked. So it really, knowing as much as you can about how everything else works and everyone else's job will make you a stronger performer in whatever capacity that you choose to pursue in film. So I strongly recommend everyone have a different perspective.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, that accumulation of knowledge too will help you in the director's chair.
Yes.
Because really, it's like being a chef. You've got all these ingredients. You've got this wide palette, and you need to build that palette and that souffle, and make sure it rises.
So I felt very confident because I was familiar with how all the pieces did work. Cool. But to then throw it all out the window, I chose a film and a format and a direction that is very not normal. So I'm going to try and talk about it as much as I can without spoiling anything. It's a day in the life of an American serial killer.
Right.
And it's literally from his point of view. So it's literally like we step into his shoes to go on this day with him. I don't know if you've seen the remake of Maniac with Elijah Wood.
Yeah, when it came out.
Yes, it's a little bit that. It's the film is very voyeuristic.
Right.
And so you're literally peeping through windows, and the format and the way it is shot is very unconventional. The viewing experience is very unconventional. So all the things that I learned about piecing together normally as a director totally didn't apply here. And, my whole team was thrown off on what they would normally do. We had to figure out ways to accidentally capture things. Sound had to be organically included and come and go. So everyone was on their toes in this movie. It was like everything you knew, throw it out the window. It's very unusual.
Well, but that's a, as problematic as it is, what a great challenge.
It was, yes, and absolutely, and fun. It was a lot of fun to try to piece together, and so I hope that people will respond well to it because we had a good time making it.
Nice. Well, yeah, you only got like a month and a half, so we can't wait to see it. I know. After this interview, you'll probably be going back downstairs to it again.
Yeah, my days are starting. My producing partner, Michelle Romano, who's also an actress in the film, she's phenomenal. We start every day with producing side of it, and then we're also prepping for the screening and con. So we're working on that, and then in the afternoons and the evenings I'm in the editing room just banging it out. So
can't wait to see see how it comes out. It's going to be absolutely fantastic.
It's different. So my hope for it, whether you enjoy the movie or not. So I had a very similar experience when I made a different serial killer film a few years ago called House of Manson, about Charles Manson's family, and it's subject matter people are passionate about. I got death threats. People didn't want any more exposure for it. But I had a reason for making it, and it was that this next generation, my generation. They thought of him as a pop culture icon. They thought of it as cool.
Yeah.
And so they didn't know the impact that it had on the country, on people in the world. They started locking their doors for the first time, and it had a big impact on people's lives. And so this story is similar in that effect. And the conversation that I want to have around it, which I think is very timely for today, is that we glorify criminals. All the mass shootings in the news right now, they slap the guys or the girls' face on there, their name. They learn all about their life. They become celebrities. And so with this movie, the commentary I want to have about it is changing that. I want to make people who commit crimes more anonymous, and I want to make their victims the people that become infamous. I want to know who they should not be a blip or a quick little name on a serial killer or on a murderer's story. It should be their story, and the murderer should be a blip on theirs. And so this film flips what you think about true crime and criminals, and focuses on the victims and the fact that they were people with hopes and dreams, lives.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of when Natural Born Killers came out, and that aura of making them into celebrities, and kind of that glamorization of that notion. And it's it's very topical, and it hasn't gone away. If anything, it's
more
it's more steeped in our culture. And I have friends that collect memorabilia around different celebrity serial killers.
It's a thing. And I don't want anyone going into this to feel bad about that, because, there's a morbid curiosity to serial killers. I think it's important to study them and know them and learn about them. But my goal is that if you go in wearing this guy's T-shirt or having his memorabilia or thinking it's cool, I want you to have a really hard time sitting through this film. Yeah. I want, when you come out of it, I want you to feel uncomfortable about cheering him on. Yeah. And that's kind of that's the horror chick in me, is like, if I can make you squirm and feel icky, then I love it. I love it. But that's the goal, is for you to kind of rethink your allegiances and your celebrity status for some of these people.
Yeah. That brings, kind of to build on that notion too. That idea of having your audience, feel something. It doesn't always have to be a good feeling to be a successful film. Back to Frost, with the car scene and the baby and stuff. Wow. You definitely, prompted me. It's I was definitely uncomfortable watching that, and my
sorry, it's horrible because it's your story, but that's the goal. I think, as a filmmaker and as a viewer, as a horror fan, if you came out of a movie and you didn't feel anything, then they didn't do their job. Horror is like comedy. It's like if you go to see a comedy and you never laugh once, then it wasn't successful. So horror I love because your job is to literally get the viewer out of their seat, to give them a sense of dread, to get their heart racing, to make them feel sick to their stomach, to make them question their life choices. Literally, it's supposed to impact you, whether it's a positive, a negative. You're supposed to leave a little bit different. And there's different ways to do it. Some will make you laugh. Some will make you cry. Some make you throw up. Some will, disturb you and trigger you for the long term. But as an artist, I can't think of anything more rewarding than having that kind of an impact on your viewer.
Right. Dee totally agrees with that. And so do I. Yeah. In fact, a lot of my viewers, they know my favorite horror movie is Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, good one.
And
Chainsaw is my weapon of choice, by the way. Absolutely, it is my favorite one. If you could give me a bazooka, or I'm a chainsaw girl every single time. I'll challenge anyone to a chainsaw duel. Fucking amazing.
Nice. We've got the promotional image of you wielding a chainsaw too.
Yes. Love it.
It's absolutely gorgeous. With Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that movie to this day still gives me nightmares. It makes me uneasy, but I think that's why it's so successful, because it gets under my skin.
and it should. Again, if you watch, 2 hours of people getting hacked up by chainsaws and you're like fine. I mean, okay, so I'm actually technically fine afterwards, but
Yeah.
I'm a weirdo. So you're not supposed to be fine after that. You're supposed to be triggered. You're supposed to be scared and like need to put on something PG before you go to bed afterwards. And I think Texas Chainsaw, I mean, even the remakes on it, I think most of those in that series and even the reboots are incredibly successful about what they try to do, what they do. I think Leatherface is like the coolest villain, the coolest character. I'm biased, but I really, really do. I love it so much. I think Death by Chainsaw is like,
it's crazy.
The best worst thing. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, well, and like you've got the like chainsaw as far as like a tool of choice, weapon of choice. It's made immortal by Leatherface, also by Ash from The Evil Dead.
Yes, Evil Dead. Yes.
And then like more recently, like Nicolas Cage and Mandy,
having just going to town.
Chainsaw duel.
So good. So good.
I think we're going to need more chainsaws.
Absolutely. I just pitched one actually, so cross your fingers for me. If it goes, I'll give you the exclusive. But come on, I'll talk to you about it first.
Sweet. I can't wait to hear about that. That sounds fun.
Absolutely.
We'll have to have like chainsaws running in the background or something.
What
did you say?
Yes.
Devanny? What's going on? Oh no, this tree.
And pink blood with glitter. Love it.
Hey, it's oh god, that would be hilarious. It's like, why is that bleeding fake blood and glitter?
Absolutely.
Gonna have to make that prop.
I love it. So when I do I don't do a lot of conventions anymore, but I did the Comic Cons the last few years, and I brought my chainsaw. I have a chainsaw toy. Nice. And you push the button and it makes a chainsaw noise and it blows bubbles.
Ah, that's sweet. That's cool.
So you always know I'm coming because you always bubbles floating all over the place. So if I come to Colorado Festival of Horror, I'll bring it and I'll bubble you.
Nice. That's hilarious. The we had Enigma out, the sci-fi performer last year. He's a friend of mine. I create his comic books, and one of his fun gags is to blindfolded, he'll carve an apple out of his mouth with a chainsaw.
That's so fucking cool.
Yeah, it's my favorite thing that he does.
I want to say, do you have a video?
Yeah, I can message you on Facebook. I think it's on.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah.
Sorry, this has nothing to do with the interview. Oh my God, sorry. Yeah, so we'll trade Facebook videos later.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's pretty much all I do is trade videos. No, that's cool. It's wow. Okay, so I can't wait to hear more about the Chainsaw movie and when it gets the green light, not if.
That's right. Putting it out there.
It's the power of positive mental, attitude.
Absolutely. For weirdos with chainsaws.
Yeah. No, that's cool. You've got so many projects, going on and coming out. What other, new projects that you've got, coming out that we might have missed?
Let's see. So last week, my latest movie came out called Breakout. It's an action movie. It's the first one I did that I'm not in. I just produced it, but I'm very proud of it. Cool. I wrote the story for it. Nice. And it's important to me because it's a guy's story. It's an action movie, and it's like straight dude shit. And yet they let me tell it. So it was really cool. And it has Louis Mandylor, who's really prolific in there, and Tom Sizemore in one of his latest roles. Rest in peace. He's great in it. And then Brian Krause from Charmed, who's a friend of mine that I wanted to work with for years. And the way this all ties in is I actually saw Brian in a very tiny horror movie years ago at a festival. And he doesn't talk about it because it's a small budget thing. And it was before he was the height of Charmed at that point. But he played a serial killer and he did it really well.
Nice.
And so, like, you know when you're a horror person, like, you can tell when somebody gets it or not. And there was something in his eyes. I was like, this guy's got some darkness in him. And I just penciled that away and, like, kept it in the back of my mind for years. And then finally this movie came up, and there is this incredible villain in this story. It's about a prison break. And so there is a domestic terrorist on the inside who is a little bit Joker, a little bit diehardy kind of, and very manipulative character. And so I pitched it to Brian, and he was like, what makes you think I could do this role? He's like, because he's known for playing like the dad on Hallmark now. He's just totally polar opposite. But he took it and he really went there. People are saying it's their favorite role of his. They're saying it's like some of our best movies, period. Like, so it's getting really, really great reviews, and especially his role. So I'm preaching it to my horror people here, because I want you to watch it for Brian's character specifically as a villain, because I would love to know what horror fans think of it. The mainstream are really, really enjoying it. And usually I reach my horror fans and not the mainstream. So I want to see how it works on this capacity. Breakout on VOD and DVD right now. It just came out, so you can check that out. And then I just shot a movie called Alien Storm.
Oh.
And and that's exactly what you think it is. It's super fun, like comedic sci-fi.
Nice.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, crazy fun. It's super cool. It stars Kevin Sorbo and Tom Arnold. So if that tells you anything, you know you're going to be in for a good time. That comes out later this year. And gosh, what else? I have other movies, and I'm going to get fired because I don't remember what they are right now. I plugged Camp Pleasant Lake. What else is coming up? Shoot, I know I have more. I'll put them in the comments afterwards, so you guys can find them. I have like 2 or 3 more this year. I don't remember what they are.
Excellent.
I'm sleeping, you guys. I'm round the clock editing right now, just to take mercy on me. Oh my god.
Yeah, it looks like Dee's already looking for it. So,
thank you.
Yeah, that's cool. Scott's. Give them nightmares.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what we do. Man. So you just do not stop working.
No.
Sometime this year you'll be able to take a vacation.
I'm supposed to. Yeah, I'm actually was supposed to go to Vegas in another week for a vacation. I'm still going, but I'm doing several photo shoots and a podcast in Vegas. There is an awesome, I'm going to plug her real quick on yours since we're all family. In Vegas, if you go there is Nightmare Christie. Hi. She runs Nightmare Toys. It's a huge toy shop and coffee shop, horror-themed toy and coffee shop in Vegas. Yeah, so I'm going to go visit them and do their podcast in the store. So that'll be fun.
Oh, that sounds like a good time. That'll be awesome. Make sure, send us the link. We'll repost it.
Awesome. Yes, absolutely will do. They're like, I love our community because I'll do one thing and then it kind of connects me to the next person and then I connect them to the next person. And before you know, we're all a bunch of weirdos together and it's great.
This is how you make friends.
Absolutely. It was funny because I was talking to you before we started the show about so I went to the Beverly Hills Film Festival last night, and it was one of the first mainstream events I've done in a long time, and I was like, I have nothing to talk about with these people. I have nothing in common. Nobody wants to talk about murder. Nobody likes chainsaws. Everybody was annoying and pretentious and no one died. And I was like, oh my God, what do I do here? It's so boring. Oh,
everybody's just putting their expensive wine on the expensive.
I know. Oh gosh, I can't.
Yeah.
So I love my horror people. I love already having that kindred spirit, you know, with our community. It's really, really great. And I love that there's opportunities to explore it in every city. So like, again, so now, I have you guys in Colorado, which I can't wait to come visit. And Vegas has that. LA has several horror things. I just discovered Slasher Pizza here in LA. So I'm so excited to do that. It's a pizza shop and it's completely all themed of horror movies.
Yeah, nice.
Super cool. So yeah, there's all these fun little gems all throughout. So I love to travel and then find my people when we travel.
Yeah, Colorado is pretty fun. I think if I remember right, we're the #1 state with the most haunted houses per population. So
So when I come out, are you going to take me to one? Which one's your favorite?
My favorite is Terror in the Corn. And,
Terror in the Corn. Oh, yeah. Is it like Children of the Corn?
It's 2 square miles.
Whoa.
Of haunted house that transitions between interior to exterior, and you don't know which one you're in.
Oh my god, I'd be scared. Is that weird? I get scared in like the live stuff. I like to be the one scaring other people. I get kind of nervous when it's me.
Oh, it's absolutely fun. I'm one of those idiots that like sits there and like looks at the details. Wow, how'd you guys do that? And I'm talking.
So you're gonna ruin it. We're like, oh, look at that lighting over there. Yeah.
My girlfriend gets really into it, and she's off running when she hears the chainsaws. And
I can't. I'm gonna be like,
yeah. I'm just like, oh, cool. What kind of chainsaw is that? And
oh my god.
Yeah, I'm the worst one to go.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're the person that I want to invite to the
Yeah, I'm the detail guy that's like, oh, how did you build this? And yeah, so I'm usually at the end of the line.
Okay, good.
I don't leave until like the last group leaves, and everybody, all my friends have already gone through there, and they're back at the campground, But the nice thing is it's at a campground called Anderson Farms, and it's got all these other rides and stuff, and a separate corn maze. And
is it just like in the Halloween season, or is it all the time?
No, it's Halloween season, so it's September through October, and
okay, so I got to come then. Otherwise, I'm gonna miss it. Yeah.
Yeah, we usually book it, like a couple weeks after we do our COFOH, we'll have a nice little volunteer and family powwow. And
I love that.
Love
that. That's so cool.
Yeah,
good for you for taking care of your people. That's really that's not always the case. That's really nice.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We have a really good time. So I definitely recommend that. And and there's so many other amazing haunted houses like 13th Floor, and I don't know what else. Donald says need to visit the Great Sand Dunes National Park in Colorado. So we have a sand dunes too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah,
I need to like plan a whole trip then. This is not like a weekender thing. I got to stay for like a week and go see everything.
You really should do location scouting. We have every terrain except for tropical.
We have tropical here. I don't need it. And I film a lot in Thailand, so we got tropical on lock. Right. I don't need it, but I do. I think. I mean, I've seen photos of Colorado. I can't believe I've never gotten the opportunity to be there yet. Every time I talk to somebody, they have nothing but wonderful things to say. And that's special because I live in LA where really no one has anything nice to say. So it's really nice to hear a consistent report back about Colorado just being wonderful, from production to the people, everything. I'm very excited to come check it out.
Yeah, most definitely. No, it looks like we're pretty much out of time, but is there anything? Is there anything that we haven't discussed that you want to bring up, Devanny?
I have some things in the pipeline. I really am like chomping at the bit to share, but I can't yet. So I think that we covered the main things that I needed to, which was to see Frost, if you're into that, and upcoming movies, Camp Pleasant Lake, and oh my gosh, no. So I have Battle for Saipan, which is a World War II movie that just came out. I'm forgetting stuff. My goodness, just came out. So if you're into more mainstream stuff, I don't know why you'd be watching this, but if you are, then Battle for Saipan is inspired by a true story. It's an action movie set in World War II. I play a nurse in a hospital when it is under attack, and so it's really cool. It stars Casper Van Dien and Louis Mandylor, and he's phenomenal in it. Definitely check that out. That's the theatrical run is over, so it's just DVD, VOD. And then I have an upcoming one this summer. It comes out, I want to say beginning of July. And that's for horror fans for sure. It's called The Flood. And it's basically, it's a survive the night in a jail with alligators.
Oh, ha, ha. Speaking of the devil, Donald just said Southern Colorado is dope. Even have an alligator farm.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, okay, so we should screen The Flood at the Gator Farm because that would be fucking badass.
That would be hilarious. That'd be so much fun.
Yeah, that should be a really fun one. That's also getting a theatrical release this summer. The Flood stars Casper Van Dien, Nikki Whalen, who are great in it a ton. Louis Mandylor, who's wonderful. So it's super fun movie, and I may or may not get eaten by a gator in it. So.
Hey, no spoilers.
No spoilers. May or may not. But yeah, it's super badass. It takes place in New Orleans during a massive storm, and there is a prison bus coming through, and they get caught in the storm, so they have to stop at this tiny little local holding jail cell. And so all the prisoners are loaded in. The jail cell starts to flood.
Oh,
and so they have to not only survive the storm, but then, of course, with the flooding comes gators.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre before. Toby Hooper's next film was Eaten Alive, about hotel owner with a gator in the moat.
I love creature features. That's absolutely one of my favorite subgenres. I think it's so much fun. I love that I got to do this. I did some stunts in it, like the Thailand team. They strapped me up to wires. I did the gator roll. On wire rigging. Yeah, I got some really cool BTS I get to show pretty soon. So it's a lot of fun. Check that one out when it comes out too. And then Black Mass, my directorial debut. Please check it out. We're going to be doing stuff at Con. The Con, really quickly, they have for the first year ever, the Cannes Film Festival and Market is doing a genre pavilion. So this is a massive presence for horror movies for the first time at Cannes. Yeah. So we're partnering with them a little bit. They're going to be showcasing our trailer and poster. Rue Morgue is partnering with them on it. So there's a lot of stuff coming up. Really, really cool. Yeah. So stay tuned, and I'll give you some exclusives from next year's horror movies at the pavilion.
Cool. Yeah. That's the beauty of like horror movies is, such an amazing fan base. Yes. But, the nice thing about horror films is I think it's also the most, accessible genre.
Yes.
That's the thing. Like, the film might come out, now, but it might not find its audience for like, years.
Yeah.
But, it's still got legs, no matter, good film, bad film, whatever the perspective is. Meanwhile, the mainstream media darling, the indie drama that wins the awards next year.
You can't even remember. Yeah, it's such BS. Oh my God, whatever. Snooze fest. No. Yeah. No, you never remember. But horror movies, they always have longevity. People who work in them have longevity. I mean, like, thank God I love it because like it's a built-in career and it's not necessarily a trend. It's, it keeps on going. And look, the whole fucking industry almost imploded during COVID. Who saved the day? Horror did.
Yep.
Yeah, like movie theaters were all but closed up, and out of desperation and lack of any other content, they started booking indie horror movies in it. And look what happened. Terrifier made them like what, $10 million in the box office, and like restarted horror cinema movie theaters. So we are a very powerful group of people. You got to keep being vocal about what you love, and because whether they like it or not, the powers that be have to listen, and they're accommodating you. So like, keep at it. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Devanny, with that, thank you so much for being so generous with your time and coming on the show. And
thank you so much.
It's always a privilege to learn about all the work that you do, and being able to share that with our audience.
I love that I got to come here. Thank you so much. I've been wanting to talk to you guys for a while now. I'm so glad we got to work it out. And I look forward to another chat with you and hopefully coming out to see you soon.
Yes, most definitely. Let's figure out how to make that happen.
I would love that. I would love it. And thank you to you guys tuning in. I really appreciate it.
Oh, yes. Thanks, guys. And of course, to our sponsors, to Mutiny Information Cafe. If you're going to start a revolution, make sure you're caffeinated. And of course, our friends over at Hellfire Entertainment. thanks for rebroadcasting us on your social media, and
Yeah.
to Groovy TV, and of course to Alien Donut Films and Angela Joseph Productions, to Bill and Angela over there. Thanks for putting up with my shit. And my producers, Lily Fisher, Stephen Santa Cruz, and Amanda Armstrong. Thanks so much for your help. And of course, to everybody that tuned in, thanks, guys. And of course, remember, be good, be kind, help each other out during tough times, and stay spooky, everybody. Have a good